Alright guys, welcome back. Somebody was like I should explain to him what osmosis and different kind of solutions that we have in biology is, that he's not understanding it. Now listen carefully to this video. Now let me start with osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from a region of low concentration to a region of high or higher concentration. Through a semi-permeable membrane. So this is the definition of osmosis. So when you are defining osmosis, is movement of water molecules. These are the key terms. You are moving water molecules from low concentration to high concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So what this means is simply, if you have two conditions where you have little water or lower concentration of water, and you have another situation where you have a higher concentration of water. So osmosis is trying to tell you that water is going to move, or the movement of water from the little one that is here where the water is low, the little one. So it's just like you're bullying somebody. For you to bully somebody, you have to be stronger than the person. Is that not so? Maybe you want to take somebody's clothes, you have to be stronger than the person. So here now we have more water here than here. So this particular one will bully this one and take the water from it. So the water is going to move from where is little to where is more. And that process of water moving through a semi-permeable membrane is what is known as osmosis. So take note of this definition, is very important. Mind you, the terms movement of water molecules, very important when you are defining osmosis. Then low concentration, high concentration. Where is it moving from? It's moving from the lower concentration to the higher concentration, and it is moving through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so we have different examples of osmosis, but I am not going to talk about that now. Now a cell can find itself in three different types of solution. So the first type of solution that it can find itself is a hypertonic solution. What is an hypotonic solution? When the cell itself has a lower concentration of water than its environment, something like this. This is not the diagram, I'm just trying to explain. Okay, so the cell itself has little water, and the environment where the cell finds itself in has more water, or has a higher concentration of water or fluid than the cell. So what happens is called exosmosis. Exosmosis. Now exosmosis is the movement of water away from the cell. So water begins to move away from the cell into the environment. Remember I told you that osmosis has to do with movement of water from the lower concentration of water to the higher concentration of water. So water will move away from, because in this hypertonic situation, the cell has lower concentration of water than the environment. So it will move water away from the cell, and that will lead to the cell shrinking. Okay, so this is a cell that have shrunk. Don't know. So this kind of cell is now said to be what? Flaccid. Flaccid, or you can call it flaccidity. So flaccidity is when a cell has shrunk. That cell has shrunk because of what? It has lost water. It has lost water. And how does it lose water? It loses water by exosmosis. Exosmosis in a hypertonic solution. So these things goes hand in hand. So when it shrinks, something like the vacuole, when it shrinks, that state of it shrinking is called plasmolysis. So if they ask you what is flaccidity, flaccidity is the shrinkage of a cell when placed in a hypertonic solution. What is plasmolysis? Plasmolysis is when the vacuole in a cell has shrink. Okay, so that is plasmolysis. So you can see that flaccidity is just like the phenomenon. Plasmolysis is when it actually happens to the vacuole of the cell. So that is one type of solution. Another type of solution that you can have is hypotonic solution. Now, hypotonic solution is the opposite of hypertonic solution, meaning that in hypotonic solution, the cell itself, is highly concentrated, meaning that it has more water than its environment. Are you seeing? So I'm showing the environment have little water, while the cell itself has much water. So what happens? Because I said that osmosis has to do with movement of water molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration. That means now the environment will now have to lose water to the cell, right? So if the environment is losing water to the cell, that means it's going to be like soaking up more water from the environment, just like a sponge. When you put a sponge inside water, you can see that that sponge will now be soaking the water from the environment, and you will now see that it will now become more soaked. So that's what happens in a hypotonic situation. And what happens in a hypotonic situation, the process is called osmosis. Endosmosis, anyhow you want to call it, this is what it's called. So endosmosis is when water is moving into the cell. Exosmosis is when it is moving outside of the cell, like when it's losing water to the environment is called exosmosis. When it is gaining water from the environment, it's called endosmosis. So it's simple like that. So what does this thing lead to? Because exosmosis leads to flaccidity. What does this one lead to? This one leads to turgidity. It leads to turgidity. Okay, sorry, turgidity. Yes, this is the spelling. So it leads to turgidity, and turgidity is when the cell now becomes firm. Okay, so when it now becomes firm or stretched, fully stretched, so it is not it's not shrinking like in a flaccid state. It's now stretched. It's now very stretched, or we'll say it's now firm due to much inflow of water from the environment. So when it soaks water, it now becomes firm, and that phenomenon of it being firm is called turgidity. Okay, and turgidity can also lead to something called hemolysis. So this phenomenon, they go hand in hand. What is hemolysis? Hemolysis is hemolysis is actually bad because it is the bursting of red blood cell. Yeah, you know red blood cell in your body. So red blood cell, because red blood cell is in a hypotonic solution whereby there is a higher concentration of the red blood than its environment. So what happens is that the red blood will start soaking in water until it bursts. So when it bursts, that is called hemolysis. So that's the bursting of red blood cell due to that red blood cell soaking of a lot of water, right? So here you can see there is movement of water into the cell. Here there is movement of water into the environment or out of the cell. So the last solution that you should know is isotonic. Okay, isotonic solution. Here the cell and the environment have the same concentration of water. Okay, so they have the same concentration of water. The amount of water that is inside the cell and the amount of water that is in the environment are the same. So actually nobody is bullying anybody here. Nobody is trying to take water from anybody. So they have the same concentration of water. There is no movement of water into the cell or outside the cell. So there is no endosmosis or exosmosis. So that this kind of solution cannot be flaccid, cannot be turgid. It just remains the same. So I hope you understand everything that I just explained right now. Please, if you don't understand it, feel free to ask me a question. And you guys are fond of going to my WhatsApp or to my private message. Please, this is a channel, this is a YouTube channel, the Facebook channel, or whatever platform you are seeing this video. Please go to the comment section and ask your questions there. I would appreciate that. Also, do well to like this video, share to your friends, any of them that is not getting this, or if there's something that you want me to explain to you, like without only definition, you can also state the topic, or you can come and meet me and ask me. I'll do a video for you. Thank you, and see you in the next video.